Okay, so we're down here in San Antonio at the Comptia's Breakaway event, and we're back live on record. And I'm here with DaRe, who's the VP of Business Development. How do you pronounce the name?
iolo Technologies.
I keep getting it wrong. I want to say it so many different ways. And they're about a 12-year-old company?
Yes.
And they are, after 12 years of being mostly in the consumer business, you're now moving into the channel.
Exactly.
So that makes perfect sense as to why you're at Comptia. But what doesn't make sense maybe to some of our readers is why do you want to get into the channel?
Well, the company's been extremely successful with the main product is called System Mechanic. Most people aren't familiar with iolo, but know System Mechanic. And it's basically a tune-up software that makes computers run faster, smoother, last longer. And in the US, we have 85% of the consumer tune-up market. In Canada, 98%. We've been very successful in that market. I came to iolo with a background in business-to-business and small and medium-sized enterprise background. And so now we're entering that market. It's a huge market, and we really have something to offer to the small and medium-sized business owner.
Okay, so I understand that. But let's start with that first. What is that offer to them? Why is that product important?
Okay. Basically, System Mechanic, different from a lot of other products that are out there that tune up PCs. It isn't like I call it a one-trick pony. It doesn't just clean a registry or just do a defragmentation. We actually have 40 tools built into System Mechanic that does those things and more. Cleans the registry, cleans up internet clutter, manages programs. We have a database of over 10,000 what we call tune-up definitions. Just like an AE has virus definitions, we have 10,000 tune-up definitions, which we're adding to every week. And basically, what that basically means is we identify things in programs that are being used in today's market that can impact the efficiency of the computer, and we find ways to fix that.
So why turn to the channel? What do you want from the channel?
Well, my background has been very channel-oriented. In my prior life, I was with executive software now called Diskkeeper, and when I got to Diskkeeper, it was 100% direct. My background with them was over a 5-year period, taking them from being a completely direct company to almost 100% channel. And my birth in the computer industry was a company called GTSI, which is a Government Technology Services, and in the 80s, and that was total channel to the government. And so my experience and background is all channel. So part of what I brought to iolo is bringing this great product to the channel and to the SMB market.
Okay, so I understand your background. Yeah. I don't think that they're doing the channel just because that they want to give you a job. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe does your father own the company, or your best friend? So there's got to be another reason why the channel. Like, what is it that the channel can do that you can't do?
I understand. Well, basically, as you would know, the channel reaches a greater number of people. It's a multiplier of how you get to the small, medium-sized business companies. As I'm sure you know, what is it, 98% of businesses are small, medium-sized businesses, I think less than 100.
Yeah, 97%.
97%.
That's I heard, but yeah. That's 97% are. And in that small business space, so not the small mid-size, but the small business space, the numbers are 90% of the time with a company over 10 employees. 90% of them will have some type of a VAR involved in their decision making, usually as a trusted business advisor to them. And usually, so 90% of that time, so making it up to 80, 81%, they will, if their VAR recommends a product and a brand, they will buy that verbatim if they go ahead with the project. And usually the only reason if they don't go ahead with the project isn't because they don't believe the VAR, but it's a cash problem.
Gotcha.
You know, and so 80% of the time, these VARs, the 160,000 people in our database, are saying they recommend something, that's what happens. That's a pretty powerful number.
A very powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we reckon, and that's, and, you know, that answers the question.
And then there's the other side. If they don't know your product, because there's so many products out there, they're not going to recommend it. And even if their customer asks them about it, if they haven't heard about it, they're going to assume that in most cases that it's just not a good product. Like, well, if I don't know it, probably, you know, I've been in this business forever. If I haven't heard of it, it's probably no good. Right. And even if they had, right now, they would say, oh, that's for consumers.
Yes.
So,
yeah, exactly.
So getting them on your side is really important. Why is it important to them to sell your product? What's the good for their customer, and then what's the good for them personally?
Right. Well, obviously, given that the VAR's intent is to make the customer happy and have them have their systems running well and running better as a result of their interaction, that's the real value of System Mechanic, because it improves the longevity of the box for the guy. It's a green product. It's that's a big buzzword these days of saving energy. It's I think in 2008, 40 million PCs were thrown away, and the average life of a PC per the EPA is 30 months, and so System Mechanic can stretch that out to 5 years, almost double that.
Unbelievable. So that's the benefit for them. What are you doing to help them? First of all, is there decent margins on it?
Yes, obviously that's, being a channel person myself, I know that's maybe the primary goal there. Our product is it's very affordable. You can get a 10 PC pack even, for example, for like less than $150. So it's extremely affordable for the end user, and with a substantial margin for the VAR. And we're basically, one of the things that Robert just mentioned that I wanted to say was that we've really just entered the market. So all of our programs we're just starting to create them now. We go through many of the distribution channels in the consumer side. Right now we're mostly engaged with Tech Data on the SMB side, VAR side.
Yeah, good company. Okay, so let's go into the next slide. When you say it does that, so how easy is it for the VAR to put this product in and load it up, and what happens with it?
Oh, great. Well, one of the things that differentiates our product is basically in the SMB market, in terms of its operational capacity, is that we have a network deployment manager, so that it can be silently deployed across a network. So if you have 10 PCs or 100 PCs, it's very easy to deploy. And we have a thing called Active Care, which basically runs, as a lot of these guys want, they want the thing to just run on its own. They don't want it to have to go manage it all the time on every PC. So System Mechanic is actually installed on each PC. So it's running on the PC itself. It isn't just running from the server, something like that. It's running on each PC. And it's run silently with Active Care, so it runs only when the person's not using it, or you could actually set it to run when you want to. So they want it to only run between midnight and 4 a.m. They can set it to do that.
And now, I don't know, because I'm not a techie, so the questions might not be real good, but is this a product that will be able to go into managed services over time, or into the cloud? Or?
Yes. In fact, we have a product that should be available to market by the end of the year that is a total cloud product called System Checkup, that'll actually check a person's PC and check a PC in a company and tell you you know, what it needs to be cleaned up, and that's going to all be out of the cloud.
Well, it sounds like a fabulous product, and it sounds like something that, you know, I mean, we all need it. You know, I'm sitting here, and while you're talking about it, I run a standalone notebook. That's all I need. I love it. It does everything I need it to do. Yeah. But it's getting slower and slower and slower. I should probably be sitting here and saying to you, you know, if you really want to finish this, if you really want me to run this, I need a copy that
yeah.
shove it in there.
You got it.
Because at the end of the day, if my, you know, everything being, you know, in all seriousness, yeah. It used to be, I remember, I don't know if you remember the old WordStar days.
Oh, yeah.
You know, so you would go in and you would start up your computer and you would be able to hit, if you remember, all the keystrokes. Yeah. So you would sit there and you'd hit about 30 keys, and then you can go and you can, you know, what I used to actually, literally, I would come in the morning, I would do all those keystrokes, because I usually had a meeting before I would come in the morning. I tried to always have one on the way in. And then I would walk around and say hello to my staff and come back 5 minutes later. Now if my computer takes 30 seconds to load up, I'm sitting there like, okay, come on, let's go, let's move it. You know, like we've become like this instant on, instant availability, always available, anywhere available, and it's become so true. And so, you know, if you can make my computer go from, you know, 30 seconds to load up to 28 seconds, that means something to me. And I hate to say that, but it's true. It's just you know, and if you can turn around, just think for $150 that they can do, how many did you say you could?
10 PCs.
So if you could take 10 PCs from your customer and make them more effective immediately, do you know how happy your customers are going to be? It's a real simple way to get one step closer to your customers.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, it's been a pleasure. Welcome back welcome to On the Record, and welcome back is what I was going to say to the channel.
Thank you very much, Robert.
Thank you.